Back here live on Radio Row, the W Show, 100.1 FM, Kansas City. We have another special guest joining us, day 3 on Radio Row, former NFL cornerback Orlando Scandrick. Orlando, how you doing, man?
Doing good yourself.
Pretty good, man. We appreciate you joining us on the show. What brings you out to Radio Row?
Just doing since I moved over into the media section, and after my career, it's kind of something that you have to go to get to where you want to get to.
Right.
I spent the last 2 years working with Fox, Undisputed,
right.
Speak for Yourself. Now having my own podcast, so just coming out here and gaining exposure and experience.
Now, when you were in your career, was that something that you always had in the back of your mind, like when the league is done, this is what I want to do?
Definitely. Being a Los Angeles kid and around the kind of the bright lights, this is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to take my knowledge that I gained from playing and kind of share it so the average person can understand the game of football.
Wow, that's huge, man, because we see a lot of players that's like, when they get done, they don't know how to pivot, to that next chapter in their life.
But I've always been a kid from a big town, so I'm not from like down south. I'm not from the Midwest. I've always been from Los Angeles, so this has been my whole life. So just being in front of cameras and being on TV, whether it's high school football, I feel like the West Coast and Los Angeles has been ahead of the curve since I was in high school on TV.
Right.
Yeah. And what part of LA are you from?
From the city of Los Angeles.
The city of Los Angeles. Now we always have to check, man, because LA is so damn big.
Well, you're talking about LA as a county.
Yeah.
No, I'm from the city of Los Angeles.
Okay, definitely. We probably gonna need some good recommendations on food and stuff too. We hit Orleans in New York.
Never heard of
it. It's a nice little deli.
Never heard of it.
Creole food. So
never tasted Creole in the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that might be
so far from
too. Yeah.
What's the spot you recommend?
Roscoe's.
We went there last night.
And, kind of like Staples. The steakhouse. Noble's not a steakhouse, but you can steak there. Mastro's.
Man, yeah, we don't have to hit one of those, especially Noble. I see a lot of people posting on social about that. You of course, you're a fan of the game.
I am. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I'm a former player.
Well, you still watch,
yeah,
right. So, Super Bowl this weekend. What are you thinking about both teams?
I'm excited. I feel like the Bengals are playing with houses of money. They got some young guys that are hungry. They're playing football, enjoying it. The Rams got some guys that their legacy is pretty enormous.
Right.
Stafford, Odell Beckham. They have Von Miller, who's already been here one time. He used to add to his legacy. And they got Sean McVay, coach who I have so much respect for, so much familiarity.
Now, you watching the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs, like they're the Chiefs Kingdom in Kansas City. They're like, oh well, the Chiefs are supposed to win, right? Everyone has the Bengals like down and out. What do you think?
What's crazy is though, my year with the Chiefs was in 2018, and we got around the playoff time, and it was so panicky. Like, oh, the Chiefs they always blow it on the They always blow it. And now here we are 3 years later, one Super Bowl later, and now looking at Chiefs fans and Chiefs Kingdom, they just look at the Chiefs as if they're Patriots, and I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's realistic. I think that you get one Super Bowl and you get your returns of your core, and they got some great young players themselves. Thank you so much. I know Kelsey's not young, but he's great.
Right.
Honey Badger, they have great players. Now their expectations are through the roof, and I don't think that's fair.
Right.
I was gonna make that point because that's the exact feeling in Kansas City right now. It's like we're untouchable. So anything, small thing that goes wrong, then they're like, oh, well, we're supposed to be this.
But I felt like
it's not fair.
I felt like a little bit of some of the players, they felt like they could just turn it on, and you cannot turn it on.
Yeah, warrior style.
Yeah,
you can't. This isn't basketball. And football is really almost like basketball, where it's like a game.
I don't know. It's not though, because basketball you can have a few bad nights, go down 0-2 in a series.
I was just gonna say that.
A bad night or a bad day in football, you're going home.
Yeah, true. Exactly. You get 7 games.
And in the Chiefs case, if you have a bad half.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we talking about the same thing, man. I'm telling you.
When you really think about it, they had I would say a bad 30 minutes and 30 seconds because I feel like the demise started at the end of the second quarter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
we
last
talked about
drive.
that.
And
Last
kicking the
drive.
field goal was not the right thing. They should have scored the touchdown. Because if you kicked it, I believe they were up 21-3.
21-3. Yes.
So if you kick the field goal, you're already up 3 scores.
Yeah.
So if you kick the field goal, you're still up 3 scores.
Yeah.
But if you score a touchdown, you're up 4 scores.
That
Right.
game is
I don't think
effectively
that
over.
the Bengals come back.
All right. So do you feel like the Bengals are gonna take it off?
I mean, they got a chance. Honestly. One game, winner take all. Whoever plays, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, whoever executes the best, it's going to be an exciting game. And that's why football's played on Sundays and not on paper. You know, you can play basketball on paper a little bit here and there because, you know, they're Kevin Durant, they're LeBron James. You can look at a matchup on paper and say, eventually, like, their skill is going to take over and they're going to win the series. But in football, one game.
Now talk about your podcast. Where can people find it?
About the Game pod. It's with me, former Bengal TJ Hushmanzada. We're just dissecting the game of football week in and week out, a little bit of back and forth, talking about our experiences, stories that we've had when we was in the league. I was in the league for 12 years, did 10 with Dallas, on KC, on Philly. So I kind of got to see a lot. I got to see 3 different locker rooms. And TJ, I believe TJ played almost 10. He did most of his time in Cincinnati. And he went to Oakland, Seattle, and Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah. Did you? Where can we find it? Is it on?
Spotify, YouTube, iTunes podcast.
Yeah. Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, Apple Podcast.
Now, one of your focuses right now is sharing your knowledge through the podcast. When we were at the Pro Bowl, we were in the tunnel and we saw a lot of the kids like dropping footballs, and of course they want to get autographs. They really look up to you guys. So what's one of the biggest pieces of advice or things that you would share with kids growing up watching you, or things that you're trying to focus on getting out there or you feel strongly about through your podcast?
Just staying out of trouble. You know, doing the right thing when no one's looking. Because someone's always looking, with today being the age of the social media and the camera phones, and just continuing to try and strive to reach your goal. I wasn't a first round draft pick. I wasn't a second round draft pick, third round draft pick, or fourth round drafted in the 5th round. And I lasted over a decade in the league. I got a chance to go places that I probably never would have been, into rooms that I probably never would have entered. And now getting a chance, just being so shortly removed of the league, to be on national TV live with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless and Colin Cowell. I was on with Marcellus Wiley and Jason Whitlow. And having chances to go on NFL Network and spend time with Damian Thomas and things like that.
A lot of times we ask players, do they feel like they can still play? Do they feel like they can still?
I don't want them.
Really?
You know, I've been playing football since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
35 tomorrow. I have no desire.
You're still a young guy though.
I
It's
have
like-
no desire.
That's a physical sport, man. At some point, your
It's not
body
even
is
the
more
fact that
let
it's a physical sport. I got 3 kids, 2 12-year-olds, like 12-year-old daughters, and basketball players. So I get to get back in time. Most of their life I've spent away from them. 10 years of their life. It's just being able to get up and take him to school. My son's 5 years old. I got to see him go to his first day of kindergarten. I didn't get to see that one. Yeah.
For those players that are going to be in that position, your position next year, transitioning out.
But transitioning out is not something that you do.
Right.
It happens. Most of the time, people don't get to retire. Everybody doesn't get to retire like Tom Brady or Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just being able to say it's over. I know people hang on to, like you said, do you think you can still play? And you probably can. You wait around for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you get a call, and then you start moving around. I was fortunate to have 10 years of stability. I didn't like the moving around part. You know, I loved my time in Kansas City with the Chiefs. I hated my time living there because it just wasn't like it.
Right. Gotcha. Makes sense. And then, I mean, you go from Dallas, a little warm temperature, and you come up to KC, and
But
it's like
it wasn't even that. I mean, Dallas was home. It was 2.5 hours.
he's a Dallas
It was
native.
2.5 hours flight. I had a house there, so it was home. I didn't have to move clothes back and forth. It was like having 2 home things going to Kansas City, and it was just one straight flight a day.
Man, Orlando, we definitely appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have more guests coming on, visiting with us on Radio Row, live from Los Angeles. We'll be right back.